What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the brand new podcast called Brothers on a Budget. This is a podcast for you, the hunter, the fisherman, anyone who enjoys the outdoors. Look, you shouldn't have to break the bank to enjoy the outdoors. This podcast is going to tell you some gear suggestions, maybe some tips and tricks, and hey, we're going to have a good time telling stories. But you know what? There's no better person to start off the first episode of Brothers on a Budget than the man, the myth, the legend, Mallard Miles.
I wish that I could sound or hear myself talk like this every day.
Every day?
Every day. Every single day. I wish I could hear myself like this.
Seth, I don't know if you want to.
This sounds amazing. It sounds phenomenal.
It ain't that much. I've been rolling this whole time.
You don't like it?
Who, me?
You don't like the way you sound on these mics, son?
Dude, no, I don't. I never have.
What? That's crazy.
Well, not only have I never have.
Oh my gosh, you sound 10 times better on it.
Hello, baby.
Yeah.
No, but not only do I mean,
Dude,
it's kind of one of those things, where you don't like watching yourself back on stuff. Like I never like watching myself back on.
Bro, have you ever heard someone? Have you ever seen someone?
I have seen someone.
And then you heard their voice and you're like, wow.
Oh yeah.
You're 10 times hotter now.
Well, I mean,
because that's what they do to me. Because I'm ugly, but when they hear my voice,
ugly as sin.
They're like, "Oh, you're country. You're straight from Alabama, ain't you?" And
Straight from the sticks.
Oh yeah, and they're like,
Straight
"We like that."
Oh, 100%. Well, look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm the ugliest person, since like sliced bread or some stuff
Hey,
like
whatever,
that.
dude.
But
Whatever.
no, I mean it ain't too bad, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to get to that parking spot when that wind was blowing after leaving dinner. It was a good bit.
What are you talking about? What does the wind have to do with anything?
Well, I was freezing my ass off. Seth, I was.
Okay, well, all right. So you were walking slower because you were cold.
Well, Seth, I'm 5'5", so I got little legs that go beep 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 beep. It's kind of.
Look, you're talking to the wrong person. Look, I'm like the same size you are. So.
Well, I don't know. I guess. Well, I did run for a minute because I was trying to catch the crosswalk because the light was on. So I darted across there.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen that.
Dude, seeing me run is the funniest thing ever. You will piss yourself laughing.
It's like you ever seen those animations where it's like
Yeah.
the little T-Rex and they're like, I can't reach him because my arms
Yeah,
are too
little
short.
arms,
And like, I can't go that fast because my legs are too short.
It start pitter pattering. I know.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
That's
Whenever I'm around, this is a total joke. I'm making this up on the spot, but basically, when I'm around my niece and nephew and start walking around, they're like, "Oh, well, hey, is that Waverly or Callahan?" No, that's just Cody walking. Just a little pitter patter.
Oh, look there, I'm figuring it out.
You're already messing up the mic stand already.
No, I'm good. I had to get it resituated, but I'm good now.
All right, you're good.
I had to get the look like what you got, that professional look.
Well, I wouldn't go professional, but the only reason I do this look is so it's lower and you can see my face. And
yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I was looking at you over the rail. I was like,
yeah,
hey, Cody,
like,
what's going on, bro?
Yeah, but no, it's all for the cameras. That's what it's really actually for. It's just that way you can see your face because you don't want to be like this trying to explain everything.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So it's like that.
I got a little pea head anyway. This whole thing's probably covering up my whole face right now.
Dude, well, eventually I'm going to upgrade to these other mics, and these other mics are like $300 a pop.
Please don't be no bigger than this because you really won't be able to see my face.
No, they'll probably be a little bit slimmer. I mean, the little windscreen will be a little bit smaller.
We're probably going to be like looking like we're in a studio with the big screens, in front of them and everything.
Yeah. Dang, like a recording studio like with John Boy, and John Boy would be like, hey, I know what all this is.
Hey, look, let me tell you something right now. I told him the other day, so we've been writing a couple songs, right?
Okay.
For real.
Okay.
And I'm honestly excited about them. Anyway, I told him, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to write these songs, and I'm going to let you have them. I was like, there ain't but one thing.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna jump on the track with you.
Yeah.
So he kind of like looked at me like crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And I was like, no, I'm being for real. I'm gonna jump on the track, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna try to get real good with my voice on this microphone like it is right now. Like I think I'm tuned in right now.
Yeah.
Do
I'd
you
say
think
so
I
too.
sound? Do you think
I'd
I
say so
sound?
too. No,
I think I sound.
so.
I think I sound good, like a deeper Keith Whitley.
A deeper Keith Whitley. See, now I will say this: whenever I get a little, intoxicated and start singing, everyone says Tracy Lawrence.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see it, but
You don't see it. You don't see it.
I'm just kidding, buddy. I think that you probably sound better than Tracy. I'm not a big Tracy fan. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Why is that?
No, I just don't think he had a lot of good, like really good stuff. I mean, obviously he's got a few good songs that I just listen to because they're like, yeah, I guess now they're classics.
Yeah.
But not a big Tracy fan. I mean, to be honest with you. So Keith Whitley, I don't know if anybody that's not a Keith Whitley fan.
I was about to say, yeah.
So and then I don't know. I just listen to a lot of the older. And then a lot of the newer. I like a lot of the newer stuff too, But anyway, I gave it a chance, and if you give some of the good stuff a chance, you'll like it. But like there's a lot of bad crap you got to weed through out there now.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
No, I mean 100%. But so MegaStrut season 1.
Oh, we're jumping into it.
We're going to jump into it.
MegaStrut season 1 is complete.
It's done.
As of where we are right now, we got 2 more episodes to release that are premiering in the next 2 weeks as of right now, which is, bro, to me is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy for me to even think about that. So it's been my lifelong dream to even do what we're doing, and we got 4 episodes already out, and the last 2 of season 1. They're about to come out, and we're already on season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
crazy.
It's like dreams are coming true right now, bro. And it's just crazy for me to think. Like it's like I almost can't fathom it.
Right. No, I mean, I guess really one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I know we talked about this a little bit more at dinner, but I just want to hear your perspective now that you had a chance to really kind of ponder on it. Was what have you learned from day one when you gave me episode 1 footage about this time last year? It was right around this time, if not February.
Yeah.
And I think it was right before NWTF last year or shortly after. It was one or the other. You gave me the footage. What did you learn from that year to now of where you're at? Just overall process, how you go about the hunts or anything like that.
Oh man, there's a lot. I mean, it was actually a lot. And I think getting into it, there's a few main points, and it's kind of what you had told me, but I held on to it, which was obviously, hey, you're not just a hunter anymore. You're a film guy, and you got to worry about that before pulling the trigger. Which, if you watch a lot of the people that have already made it on YouTube and channels, a lot of the times they won't take a shot or something because it's not right for film. So that's changed a lot for me, but just the mindset in general, I think, is what's really been what it was for me, because all throughout my life I just wanted to do something in the outdoor industry, and then doing videos, and I didn't really know how to go about it, and then now we get to actually filming and doing stuff, and then I get with you, I give you some footage that I already have, and you're like, hey, try this, do that. And you're like, pay attention to me, because if, you need to do these things. And being in the woods all my life, I've learned how to be a hunter. And then now it's like, you got to transition to be a producer and a videographer, film guy. And a photographer, and I mean just everything in one if you're by yourself. And even if you're not, now, even when I have a cameraman with me, I still have to have that mindset and think about it in those ways. But to think about the shots that we need and how I need to react to things. Not that I'm gonna be faking it, but you got to know which way to turn. You got to know what you got to get before you leave a scene or something, so the viewers have what they're looking for, and what you're really trying to depict. So from last year, we've had a full year really really being into it, and I would say that would be the main points, and really not being lazy on taking all my camera equipment in the woods with me, because there's been a lot of times where I didn't want to take all 3 GoPros, which I've kind of slacked on that now, but only because of the equipment. I was kind of like, okay, we don't need this for these shots. Let's just focus on these. But anyway, the main camera and the main GoPro, it's like you have to strap them up every single time you get out of the truck. And sometimes, when I'm really running and gunning, what we like to call it out there in the woods, running and gunning, you kind of know what's going on, or maybe you have a lead on a bird or something like that for a day, and one of your buddies calls you up and they're like, hey, there's a bird in your spot or your field or your pasture or whatever, and you're like, okay, I got, like, right now, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, okay, I got to go. So you run out there, racing in your truck, getting out there, and then it's like, you got to remember, we're not just hunting right now. Don't just jump out with your gun, and run out there. So get all your equipment ready. Worry about your production side and your film side before you worry about pulling that dang trigger. So that's been the main thing. And then obviously just getting the right shots is what you've told me. And most of it's come from you. A lot of it's come from Radcliffe. He's helped out a lot, which is the main field guy for the videography. But that's pretty much what I've learned and kept with me for the past year, and we obviously getting better at it, because I have not been good in front of the camera, and that firsthand. We usually have to take shots at least 10 times, because I just kind of clam up, I guess you'd say. I just kind of like, I don't know what to say, and then I get it all figured out in my head, and then I'm like, I try to get it out, and it don't come out.
Well, it's again, like right now, obviously, we have the overhead light on, we have this light on, we have 2 cameras rolling, and then obviously we have headphones on. So
Right.
like, it's just not natural. It just isn't, because again, we had a great conversation at dinner, and you sat there said, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the camera, maybe it's the light, maybe it's this, it's that. But like, look, if we were recording right now, like, dude, this is a great conversation. But again, like over time, and this is something that I've kind of dealt with over time too, was I just got used to the camera, to this light. And that's not even an ego thing. It's just more or less that because I've been behind the camera so much, I've just been good enough in front of the camera to the point where I can explain to people and say, hey, try it this way. And the way I explain and teach people, especially in production, of how to do things is like, well, the way I can do it is best show you. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is why you do it. This is why you look this way. This is why you use your hands this way. And
Well, I've
kind
been
of
in it a couple times with you now, and I've got a good feel for it. Like I told you tonight, I was like, hey, I think I got a good feel for it now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just talking. But even with these 2 cameras, man, even if it was just one camera, it's like, it's kind of weird for me, I guess, trying to explain it. But it's like, I can see myself already playing back on the computer, or on the TV. So I'm like, that's going through my mind at the same time that I'm talking, and we're discussing things. But no, I'll tell you what, I really do enjoy it now.
Yeah.
Now that I've kind of got a feel for it. But anyway, I'll tell you what, aside from the way I feel about it, tell me the way that you feel about the past year with dealing with me. That's what I want to know. Tell me that.
Oh, geez, Seth. When you gave me that first footage of that first episode, I was like, oh, how do I tell him there's not enough here? There's nothing here. I said, oh, geez. Because again, part of the episode 1 was you had 2 hunts basically combined. And I'm like, how do I, in a production world, just my mindset of just how I go about trying to tell the story.
Well, I am sure glad you didn't tell me that at first, because I would have been like, all right, I'm done. I just give up.
Well, no, I mean, because again, like, I never want to crush anyone's dreams or do anything like that. But the thing is, it's like, look, you already did the first step. You got the footage. That's step one. You got something, and it's just like, I'll use the analogy of sports and athletics. Like for a football game, they have a week worth of prep of watching the film, reviewing the film, and learning from it and getting better from it. And so that's very similar. So it's like, okay, now that we have the footage, now I know what to work on with you. Now I know, hey, you did great here, and that's good. Keep doing this. Let's work on this route. But like, look, if you came with the idea of saying, hey, I want to do this, I'm like, okay, well, here's this laundry list of what you got to accomplish and try to do it, then you immediately would get discouraged. So good thing you came with footage, because if you didn't, then it's like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting trying to go about it. But luckily with the footage,
like trying to straight up tell me what to do before I'd even done anything.
Exactly. But now you did something. You threw yourself out there. You did it. You got footage here, this, and that, and all that. We were able to work with something. We had something, because at the end of the day,
hey, y'all heard that? I had something to work with. I've been doing all right.
But no, I mean, again, it's one of those things. You have to start somewhere. It's just like, if you're going to play the guitar, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
If you're going to get in the outdoor, industry, or just get into the hunting, fishing, you got to start somewhere. You may not be able to afford that, like, $800, 12 gauge. Maybe that $200 one is what you can afford, or vice versa with the apparel. Maybe that Walmart, camo pants is all you can get, compared to, something a little bit more, high quality, or anything like that, or a little bit pricier and all that.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you have to start somewhere, and you started somewhere, and that's good. And I can honestly say, like, no BS, you've gotten better. You went from episode 1, and as each episode progressed and how we put it together, you can see growth, and you can see how things started clicking a little bit more.
Hey, can we keep tabs on this while he's saying all this?
Oh, I'm sure John Boy's gonna call you after he sees
for
this,
sure.
and he's gonna be like. He's like, man, I can't believe Mudflap was saying positive things about you. Like,
no,
that's
but
crazy.
I really do appreciate you saying that, because I know you've got to be one of the main people that can tell. I mean, man, I've really tried hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like either you gonna do it and figure it out and do it right, or you might as well just give it up, buddy, because it ain't gonna work.
Well, it's and I think there's a correlation to, obviously, doing this production of MegaStrut and doing the filming and all that, in relation to just the outdoors, is, especially like right now we're in turkey season, you have to find ways to figure it out. Look, this year you figured it out. You got lucky, well, 2 for 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, which, I mean, unless you're on social media, you don't even know that, this year, 2025, season 2 of MegaStrut, we went to Florida. We already have 2 birds on the ground, which, to me, I was like, man, if I even get one, that's going to be something. And I did it back to back, opening day and second day of season, limited out in Florida. And it's like, even now, it's been not even a week, but it's like, man, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I limited out in Florida already. Like, I already got 2 birds on the ground. The Alabama season hadn't even come in yet. Don't even come in till this upcoming Tuesday.
Yep.
Like, insane. So I remember I texted you and I was like, hey, we got episode 1, bro. Like, episode 1, season 2 is already, like, we got it.
Yeah.
Next day I texted you and I was like, bro, you ain't gonna believe it. We got episode 2 for season 2 already, or which is part 2 of Florida, what we're gonna do. But I was like, dadgummit. And then, now sometimes things like that they're almost like bad for you in a way, because now it's like, oh, we got to figure it out, son.
Yeah.
We
100%.
We're doing everything right, and now it's like, we don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna shoot another bird this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go out there and not shoot another one, but anyway, no, it's been awesome to come from that day one. I brought you that footage over here, and I was like, hey, that's what we're working with. What can we do? And then now it's like, I got everything, bro. I think I got everything we need for this episode. Now we're about to do a new intro for season 2, and then and do some I guess some more smaller spine takes for
Yeah.
them. And that's film talk,
Oh yeah.
which
All
which
production. I see.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny. I remember. Look, I should have watched the first podcast that we did. On the broken down podcast on that side of things. I should have done that because I remember. I think you said or said, and I think you already said it. Starting this conversation was, I'm a hunter. Like the production's not there. And seeing you go from that point again, this is a year later. Now you're like, I'm a field producer. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I have to do to accomplish.
Yeah, and even if you don't do, like for me, it's still, I still am that hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hunter. I mean, that's just me. That's in my blood. It's in my makeup. But now it's like, I can either on certain days or whatever, I can go really over the top on filming, and do a lot of production side of just whatever I want to get on film wise, or I can get what I know I need to get and have to get, and then I hunt,
Yeah.
and I do it simultaneously. So now I think I've gotten really good at that because I've tried. Is the thing. And if I didn't want this as bad as I did, I think it'd probably just go straight down the drain, and you'd be like, I'm not working with you anymore because you're not doing what you need to do.
Well, and that's the thing, and the thing that keeps like probably, like me and probably Radcliffe and everyone else just that's willing to help you is they see the growth, they see you taking, the criticism, the feedback, however you want to call it, and you're implementing it. So it's like, okay, you're listening. Like it'd be different if we all probably said, hey, try it this way, and then you just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I was like, heck no, I got my own idea about it, and y'all are just there.
Yeah, and then at that point, it's like, all right, well, no one's going to want to help.
Yeah, this guy right here ain't taking anything that we're saying, and trying anything. Yeah, so yeah, in that way for sure. But I think obviously the reason being that we've gotten this team is because we've all become friends. But now it's more so we all have the end goal is the same, and I think we all had the idea and the dream of what we're doing, but I was more so the face of it, and y'all didn't really understand or know at the time, but y'all were like the workhorses of it, Me, which I don't think it's probably the same way for me hunting. It's not work to y'all. Y'all are having a good time doing what y'all are doing, and me walking around the woods, walking miles, and toting all that gear, to a lot of other people, they don't do it because it's work, and they're like, I'm not gonna have fun doing that, but me, I do. So y'all have fun doing what y'all do for it, and I have fun doing what I'm doing for it. But anyway, I've told them on social media and in the maybe not in the film because we've been talking about just the hunts, but man, the team, bro, our team is legit. It's legit, and I couldn't be more happy with y'all. Y'all put just as much work into doing what we need film wise and production wise than I ever have just being in the woods. So I appreciate the heck out of y'all. But as for the seasons are going, man, we got some good hunts lined up. We got some with you. We got some with Radcliffe. We got a lot of stuff for the summer outside of the hunting, turkey hunting. And I think a lot of people ask too, they're like, man, your name's Mallard Miles. Why do you not have any duck hunting stuff up? Duck hunting's hard. It's tough. And turkey hunting's hard too, but to me, it's like being in the SEC, Southeastern Conference, man, we got a lot of good turkey population habitat down here, and I got good at it because that's what you do around here. From if you hunt, you do that from like the time you can when you're young. And I mean, my dad was like carrying me out there. I was just sitting with him, and so I've gotten really good at it. Which I've gotten good enough at it to where when I started filming, I was able to not figure it out quick, but I was able to figure out how to film and hunt. Duck hunting, you're like fully submerged in water, first of all, which is, with a camera, that's just insane most of the time. And then you're trying to do that and shoot at the same time and call, and you got to have your hand on your duck call. Like if you're a turkey calling with a diaphragm call, you ain't got to have your hand up there, and you can, it's just a lot of different variables that go into it. But we got some duck hunts on the way that you'll actually, I guess, maybe here. I know for sure by May we'll be putting them together. You'll be working on those. But we got some cool stuff coming up for this upcoming duck season with us. And hopefully we'll be getting some good some duck hunting videos out there. So, and deer hunting. We already got two deer hunting episodes that are going to be coming out. So we got a lot in the works. But I'm ready for Mudflap and Bob.
Oh, Bob
coming out this summer. I guess is when.
Yeah, honestly,
because we're going to be doing a lot of summer activities.
Yeah, it's I guess it's the name of this podcast is Brothers on a Budget.
Yeah.
And the whole concept behind, and it was something. It was crazy because the concept started when I had a conversation with you in those little bar stools right there.
Mm-hmm.
Of like whenever we first started putting together the first and second episode.
Oh, and there's been many of hours now sitting in those bar stools going over crap.
Plenty. Where I remember it was actually 2 weeks ago. I think I came back. I forgot what it was. I think I left my parents' house because I think I was dog sitting or house sitting over there. I came up here back to Auburn and went and helped out my buddy with firewood, and then you drove over here, and we stayed till close to like midnight.
Oh, dude, and that's what it takes, and and I really don't know what I'm doing with the production and editing side of everything, but I'm able to kind of give you the vision of what because you put it together like a dang boss, but it's like, and then I go in and I'm like, everything looks good. Let's tweak this, and that, and we're good. Yeah. And and of course we usually get into some other stuff, and we sit there and we edit, for however long, and we, and especially with me because I usually don't have everything that we need on there, and you're like, okay, we got to implement some of these things, and we got to put some spine take in here and there, and fill in some gaps and stuff. But man, we spent some hours and some time there. And at my house too, doing some stuff, and in the woods.
And no, I remember that day. That was a long day whenever we were filming.
And that was just for the intro.
That was the intro, and that was all the spine takes for all the episodes.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
So,
but out in the woods, and we were having a good time.
Oh, it was a great time.
But it was like,
by the time it got to midnight, I was like, oh man.
Oh yeah,
well, we're tired.
It was like, golly, like And I remember you just kept you were like, go back, do it again, go back and do it again. And I'm like, I'm doing the same thing over and over. What the heck are we like, and I could understand. Well, yeah, and I figured out, pretty quick after you kept telling me, which I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, we're doing the same thing over and over. What, like, is it the camera messing up, or am I messing up, or what, And then you was like, no, we're getting different angles. And of course, we kept doing that throughout the day on different scenes and stuff. And then you put it together, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." Yeah. And it was, obviously, it was a little bit different because of what we did it reality wise. But I was like, "Man, this is what I always imagined." Mm-hmm. And Cody Baker done put it together, boy. And you remember how I was that first day? We was sitting down there and in the hunting room and putting the intro together, and I was just, bro, my anxiety, I was so anxious. My anxiety was getting the best of me. Like, my nerves were shot.
Oh, dude. Well, I can say this from my perspective. Your
perspective was you was dying laughing. You was like, this dude right here is about to jump out of his skin,
Well, and I guess again for me, it was almost a, because working in athletics for so many years, being around, a lot of different people and being in a football stadium with 88,000 people screaming fans, or
Right.
like at Mississippi State with the cowbells, you just
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, at that point you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
and that's really the reason I got into video production, was to see that emotion, see people caring and like loving a project, no matter if it was ultra produced or little basic edit or whatever. Like when you convey emotion and someone has a reaction to it.
Well, you already know this. This to me, it isn't some little thing that I just kind of come up with. Man, this is like my life dream.
Yeah.
It's like my life in general. So to see that finally come together for the first time, it was like 26 years of my life. Not really, obviously, I'd say I've wanted to do this since I was, no joke, literally probably 6. So we're looking at 20 years of build up and emotion that went into it, and to finally see that come together in that moment, man, I was just, I mean, it like took over my body. I was watching myself, knowing that was me, that we put that together, that we produced that we got it right. And then I think what really got to me was, what was it, 2 days?
Yeah.
Was it 2 days later?
Yeah, 2 days later.
We released the intro onto social media. Man, it was a hit. Comparable to what we have on social media follower wise. And I was like, and the feedback, man, I didn't get not one negative. Not, which is that's unheard of. Normally, you got some negative feedback, and I didn't, and it was all good, man. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's not only that I know that this is what I've loved and wanted for so long, but to have all that good and that good feedback that's like pushing you to be better and wanting you to progress. Like, all these people are like, well, they're wanting me to keep going. They're like, man, we're ready for it. It was overwhelming. And even now, it's been a month, and man, I still, even when we release videos on Monday, I get a little bit of I get emotional, and I'm like, man, like, I can't believe this. The dream is like rolling right now.
I know, and the crazy thing about it is after you release that, now it's okay, what's next? Now you're already looking for the next one,
and that's the fun part about it, is there's never an ending.
Well, and again, and that's what kind of circling back just a little bit, was whenever we were sitting at that bar stools, it's like, okay, well, we were brainstorming a lot of different things. I threw out an idea, and that the concept ended up over time evolving to Brothers on a Budget, which is what I kind of unofficially called Bob.
Right.
So the concept of Brothers on the Budget is, I don't have any brothers, so it's basically, just kind of a group of guys and girls. The only reason I went with brothers is kind of, it just rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Brothers on a Budget.
He messed up when he said he ain't got no brother. I'm his brother.
You
best believe this man right here. If he calls me, I'm on the way.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, no, we know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So Brothers on a Budget is really, when you, I know what you're saying. When you say Brothers on a Budget, you're talking not only outdoors. It's like kind of that down home feel, the country feel. And it's like, if you involve yourself with that, it don't matter if you're a girl or boy.
Yeah.
Like, this is country folk, down home folk. This is,
100%.
And we ain't a bunch of rich folks down here.
No, because again, like for someone me who's more of just, I'd consider myself more of just the average Bob. Average Bob,
I'm definitely, when it comes down to it, I am a Bob in the woods.
A Bob. I'm pretty sure we're all Bobs a little bit.
Now y'all may see me in some of my high tech gear, some of my high tech weapons, more expensive stuff. But when it comes down to it, I'm saving pennies where I can.
Yeah, but and kind of just branching off that, you didn't start that way.
No, absolutely not.
No, because I mean,
I started with nothing with my family let me use their stuff.
yeah, what exactly?
You know,
And
so when I finally got to where I could, which I remember, I mean, it was either you buy one really expensive thing, you use all your money, or you buy the stuff that you need for everything at not the most expensive stuff. So
yeah, no, I mean, and that's the kind of the concept of Brothers on a Budget is kind of showcasing you can enjoy the outdoors without breaking the bank. You know,
oh
like I
yeah.
mean, over time, obviously, look, it's definitely nice to have that. Benelli and all that kind of stuff, right? It's very nice
Well, even branching off of that, you got to think about me going. I go and live in Arkansas for 3 months, just about.
at a
But
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
well nowadays it's totally different. For about the past 4 years now, I've had the best family.
yeah,
Golly, the best family. They kind of took me in. I don't know why they did. I don't think they know why they did either. But
you're right.
I'm part of them now. But anyway, I live with them now when I stay in Stuttgart. But I go up there and I mean, I ain't got a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
I would go up there for years and I'd just sleep in my truck at the boat ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really that's why that family they were. I think they felt
They
they
felt
felt bad
bad.
for me. They was like, man, this guy right here is. I mean, he's really up against it. And
Yeah.
he's still out here trying to just have fun and hunt. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, out there freezing my butt off every day. To kill a couple ducks. But
Yeah,
but anyway, yeah, no, I tell you what, and I do a lot better for myself now.
yeah,
But going out there and man, I used to sleep in my truck. I wouldn't get no hotel room because I couldn't. It was either I could stay for 2 weeks
mm-hmm.
in my truck. I'd go shower at the Love's truck
Yeah.
stop or whatever, or either I would buy a hotel room for 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, okay, either you hunt this long or you hunt this long. I was like, well, I'd rather hunt the whole time. So
Yeah,
I ain't trying to impress nobody.
right.
I'm like, I'm out there by my dang self because a lot of my friends, they couldn't go for as long as I could, or they couldn't go, or for in general, just because they didn't have the money. So,
Mm-hmm. No, I mean exactly.
I went up there and did what I could.
And kind of just kind of going branching off of that even more is a question I wanted to ask you is what were the three pieces of equipment gear that you first started off with that was relatively inexpensive, and it can be anything. It could be for deer hunting, turkey,
You talking about first starting out, like the first time?
yeah, first time.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, because obviously my parents, my dad, he's the one that got me into it, and he took care of me. He's the one that got me all my first stuff. But even then, it wasn't like the most expensive stuff because he didn't know how I was gonna treat it or if I was even gonna end up liking it. I ended up loving it more than anybody else. But anyway, hunting wise, what I'm saying. But we'll say 16 years old. I was doing duck hunting and stuff. Really, I had a pair of hand-me-down waders, but they were Cabela's waders, neoprene. They're not even $300.
Mm-hmm.
I did go and buy a shotgun. It was a better brand, but it still wasn't the most expensive. So I had a pump shotgun. It was a Benelli. I think it cost me. It was like $700 something. So it ended up being like $800.
Mm-hmm.
So I got pair of waders for $200. I got a shotgun for $800, and then I got my dad ended up giving me some duck calls, but I think the first one I bought was like $60 $60. And then of course we're going at that time. I go to Walmart and buy the cheapest shells that I could for duck hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And Sitka wasn't even a thing back then,
Right.
so. Most of the time we're wearing. If you wanted to buy the expensive stuff, you're buying Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you wasn't in it as using a couple $100. And then,
Yeah.
So that would be what I'd say was the main stuff starting out that you could get, and you could always go with cheaper stuff, even more so than that.
Yeah.
But that's what I started out with. And everybody they wanna have better stuff, but I, especially being as experienced as I am now, looking back on it, even as of right now hunting, you could go to Walmart and get whatever shotgun on the shelf, and I promise you, it'd be sufficient.
Yeah. No, I mean, because look, we're at the end of the day, we're just breaking it down to the very basic. You put
Right.
shell in gun, you pull trigger, gun goes boom.
Right.
That's the most basic.
And think about it like this too. This is another way to think about it. You kill a deer.
Yeah.
Me, I use, and this is just my preference. I either use a buck knife or an outdoor edge.
Mm-hmm.
That's like two of the best knives you can get for skinning, in my opinion. Dude, you could go get an Ozark Trail knife from Walmart for literally $3.
Yeah.
And be able to skin that deer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those things where it's almost like driving a car or learning anything, or trying to find a new truck or whatever the case is. You don't know what you like until you test drive it.
Right.
You don't know if you're going to like a certain brand of calls or anything like that until you test try it. Or obviously you guys buy it and try it out, and then hey. It's all a learning game, because over time you just kind of figure out your experience. Not only like through experience, you figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then you start building your gear bag and everything like that around your preferences of what you like.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, what like if I get a turkey call, I may like it, but it may not be your favorite, and then maybe your favorite is probably not my favorite because just the way it sounds, whatever the case may be, and it's just all personal preference, because at the end of the day, you and me could have the same exact gear, same exact situation, everything. Then at that point, it goes to experience. If you're really, really experienced, you can, look, you could give me the most expensive stuff, the greatest stuff out there, and you could get the most least expensive, kind of stuff, and you probably call better than me, kind of thing.
This is a great example here. I was talking to one of my buddies, Mr. Ryan Dyer. He does country music, man. He's got some really good songs out there. But anyway, he's getting into some turkey hunting this year.
Oh yeah. He
called me the other day. He was at Bass Pro Shop, and he said, "Hey, what calls I need?" I was looking at some of these calls, and man, I had some people tell me to get this and don't get this and don't get that, and he was like, "I know not to get a triple reed," and I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Yeah, don't get that or a double reed because I don't know how to use it." And I said, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "You just don't know how to use a mouth call?" And he was like, "Man, I kind of do, but I'm not good enough to use a triple reed or a double reed." And I said, "Dude, you got it all messed up." I was like, "Whoever told you that is just dead wrong." I was like, "You're gonna sound the same on any of those calls because you don't know what you're doing." Those calls you can have somebody that ain't never put a mouth call in their mouth before using a triple reed mouth call, and you can have the best mouth caller there is on the planet, the best one out there. He just knows how to manipulate it to get different sounds. You're gonna sound the same way on that expensive one or the one that costs $3. I was like, so that's what I was telling him. I was like, you need to start out. You really need to start out with the inexpensive stuff anyway, and figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
especially if you really are on a budget. Now, if you got money, hey, whatever, go buy the best stuff.
Obviously,
do whatever anyway, because you probably ain't gonna stick in hunting anyway.
Yeah.
But no, that was just a really good example. What you said, that fit perfectly into it. So.
Yeah, because again, like, you don't know what you like and you don't know what you don't like. Like, look, I may not be the best. I may not be great at mouth calling. Like I just may not be. Kind of thing. But you are. So then at that point, as brothers on a budget, sometimes you come together and say, "Hey, can you call for me?" While
I was about to say, I tell you the best way to do that is just go with somebody
that's what I was about to say.
Already got all the stuff. You ain't got to worry about buying any of it.
It's like, hey, I want to do this. I got you, and then you go. And that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, and we're gonna end up doing I think a pretty good hefty amount of reviews and stuff
There's
in
gonna
the
be
future.
definitely. There's gonna be some
So we're gonna
reviews.
be able to not only explain this in words, but show everybody what's going on.
Yeah, because and that's the good thing about like Brothers on a Budget is you're going to have someone like Mr. Mallard Miles right here, who's experienced, who knows what he's talking about, who's done this, who's in there, who can walk into NWTF and is over there, shaking hands and kissing babies and signing autographs, all kinds of stuff. Just roll out the red carpet over
we
here.
ain't there yet, brother.
I don't know,
promise you
man,
that.
because I saw you. That's the funniest thing is everyone swears up and down that you and me texted at NWTF when we ran into each other. They swear up and down, and I told them, I said, no, that was purely by accident.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, we talked about it beforehand.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I knew you were up there.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, I'm like, Seth's up here, but that was about as far as I went. And then we turned the corner, going through, the.
No, we was like right there in the middle.
Yeah, I
of it.
looked, I saw you, I said, oh, that's Seth. And you're like, oh, that's you. I was like,
you was like, bro, and I was like, I looked and I was like, dude. I was like, what's up, man?
yeah, that was literally it was just crazy that I was like, you couldn't make this up. Like out of all those people there,
Yeah. Oh, there's
that we ran into each other.
thousands and thousands. There's tens of thousands.
Oh, it got hot. It got hot with all the people walking by.
We've actually talked about that. Me and some of the folks that work in the Miger booth. We'll be in there and be like, hey, gummit, man. Even this big old building, when you get all them people in there, it gets hot.
So yeah, and that was the thing. We got there Thursday, and we did most of Friday, and then we came on back, and we saw pictures on Saturday, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how. Like, look, I love doing like conventions and stuff like that, walking around, seeing all what people have to offer and all the products and everything like that. But at some point, you're like, holy crap! Like, it's too hot. I'm like, first off, I'm wearing jeans and it's cold outside, so I need to be wearing shorts.
Well,
at
that
this
probably
point.
happened a little bit Friday, but Saturday's the big day, obviously.
Yeah.
There's I'd say a good 2 hours during that Saturday movement at NWTF in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's where you can't daggum move. Like at all. I mean, there's just that many people in there.
Yeah.
So, but man, I tell you what you've seen, what you got to see firsthand, man. NWTF Nashville is one of the biggest places to get out there and rep your brand and try to sell your brand, sell your merch, your anything you got, your gear, whatever it is. There's so many people, there's so many eyes that are looking around for something new, for something that they know. So, there's so many different things, So it's a great spot, and I mean, obviously I'm all about turkey hunting anyway. So
for sure. And that was funny enough. That was my first year ever going, this past year, and there was something for everyone. That's the best thing I can explain it to everyone.
I'll tell you what, it was so funny the first year I went, man. I was walking. It was kind of like it was along the back line, like one of the back corners. I walked, and there was a booth for leaf filters and gutters.
Really?
And I was like, "What the world? Like, why in the world are you in here?" And there literally is something for everybody in there. But that also had me thinking. I was like, so this year, we were going to do a booth, and we got put on the waiting list. That's how many people try. Yeah, how many businesses try to get in there, and there's already over 500 vendors.
Yeah,
like it's insane. And I was thinking this year, I was like, they put me on the waiting list, and I was like, there's leaf filters for gutters in here, and I can't get in, and I have like a legitimate brand for turkey hunting.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. I thought it was funny. I was like, there you go. This is just insane.
And that was the thing. There was a couple of vendors. I'm not going to say any names, but it's almost like they just pulled up a folding table and said, "Here, we just made room for you." And I don't know if that was by design immediately or not.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've seen some of them. And some of the people were people that have gotten a little bit of fame over social media that really, I ain't gonna say they don't have any business being in there, but that it ain't got nothing to do with turkey hunting or hunting in general. And they put me on. I mean, I don't care. Whatever. I'll wait my years that I gotta wait on the waiting list. But it was almost like, oh, you are who you are. We're gonna make a little bit of room for you.
Yeah.
And it was one little old folding table.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was again like if they pushed it or pushed whatever. Oh Lord, you already about to end your live over here.
Oh
You've been over in it for a minute. How long has how long's do? Well, I mean, I just noticed.
I don't know. I was gonna ask you how long we
How long we been talking? I don't
yeah,
know.
how long we been in there? Are we good on this?
Oh yeah, we good.
Okay.
Oh look, brother Seth, you ain't gonna believe how long we've been talking.
How long?
51 minutes.
There ain't no way.
There's a way.
Good night. We usually try to keep these at about 30.
30, but you know, I mean, when the conversation's flowing, you just don't stop it. You just let it ride.
We've been rolling.
But I mean, you know, I think we got a lot of great things happening this year, and I think there's not only this year, it's years to come. You know, and I think Brothers on a Budget, Mud Flap Outdoors, and MegaStrut, and Mallard Miles.
We got a lot of different avenues kind of under the same roof right now, or the same build.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna be able to make it work and make it all flow together for the same purpose.
It's be cohesive.
It's gonna be awesome. So I'm excited. I know you are, and if you wouldn't, then you wouldn't be doing this with me. So
No.
I'm having a good time anyway.
Dude,
And I've always told you, I've told everybody else, hey, whether it works out or not, hey, we're gonna what do you always say? We're gonna keep on keeping on. You know.
Yeah. You know what, dude? That sounds like a good tattoo.
Which one?
Keep on keeping on.
Oh, I thought you already had that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, no, I ain't getting it.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, dude, we're brothers on the budget over here. We gotta have some.
No, you're getting Bob across the chest.
Across the chest, dude. I put a B on one cheek and B on the other cheek.
Oh my gosh,
There's your Bob.
Y'all got to look past this right here. This joker right here, he be going nuts sometimes.
Nah, dude, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing but a thing.
But well, hey man, I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and like we said, if anybody has stayed in here for the full hour, we'll let them know we thoroughly enjoy it, and we got 4 episodes out on MegaStrut. We got the last 2 of season 1 coming out in the next 2 weeks. Working on season 2. Bob's coming soon. Mud Flap's already out. We got a lot of stuff going on. Go check it out. YouTube. We got Mud Flap, Mallard Miles is both on Instagram and TikTok. Find us on everything. Go give us a look.
Keep on keeping on, Seth.
Keep on. Hey, I'm about to go get on another turkey somewhere, so
All right, man.
we'll holler at them later.
Yeah, absolutely.